Weird. All right, looks like we're live. Let me make sure that YouTube is caught up. Let's see. Nope, not yet. Come on, YouTube. Catch up, YouTube. Come on now. Make sure that YouTube. All right, looks like YouTube is caught up. So we here, we're live. Sorry about the delay. I don't know what's going on. My camera is like freaking out today. I don't know what's happening here. I did update my computer recently, so maybe that has something to do with it. I don't know. But anyway, we're here, we're live. Appreciate y'all being here. Welcome back to Bears Yard. It's your boy Vipe, and this is the weekly live stream that I do. We are live. This is Bears Live. Plank is in the building. What's up, Plank? How you doing, man? Good to see you. Hopefully you're doing well, my dude. What's going on? So I think I want to start off today with our good friend Kevin Warren, right? I'm trying to figure out, what the hell do you do, Kevin? Okay. I'm like, what do you do, Kevin? And the reason why I am asking myself, what does Kevin Warren do today, is because Kevin Warren has now been what is he? I think he's the president and CEO of football operations in Chicago, whatever the case is, whatever the title is. He's been in the job for 2 years. He was mainly brought in to help facilitate the Bears building a new stadium. I find it kind of egregious that Kevin Warren has been here 2 years now, and the Bears still do not have a location on which they're going to build that new stadium. Now, they do have options in place, so it's not like they don't have anything going on. But the fact that Kevin Warren has been in the organization for 2 years now, and we still don't have a definite location on where this stadium is going to be built, give me cause to pause. It makes me ask the question, what the hell do you do here, Kevin? What is your job function? Are you doing anything? Because from the outside looking in, for the past 2 years, the only thing that Kevin Warren has done is build out a business back end of the Chicago Bears organization. He hired a bunch of high-level business people, executives, vice presidents, different things like that, to build out the back end of the Bears organization, positions and people that they did not have in place before. But what is their purpose? Why are they there? I thought that they were there to make the whole stadium building process more easy for them. But again, we still don't have a location, and we're about to be in the summer of 2025 now. Kevin has been recently adamant in the fact that they will break ground on a stadium this year. But damn, fam, where? Now, right now, we are down to 2 locations, apparently, for Kevin Warren. Either it's going to be built at the museum campus downtown Chicago, or it's going to be built in Arlington Heights. And I just told you all the recent video I made that it's looking like Arlington Heights is going to be the location more and more. For the longest, Kevin was focused on getting a location in the downtown museum campus area. But now, recently, he's kind of shifted his focus to Arlington Heights. It makes much more sense to me for Kevin and the Chicago Bears organization that they build a damn thing in Arlington Heights. Since they own the land, they would own the stadium, and they would not have to like fight with the city on what to do with that particular stadium and different things like that. Now, a lot of this, as much things do, come down to money, right? But Arlington Heights has agreed with the Bears that they're going to give them some tax breaks and different things like that. I know Arlington Heights just elected a new mayor, and he seems to be pretty on board with meeting with the Bears to making sure that this thing gets done. And why wouldn't he want it to get done? But I'm tired of Kevin Warren not really having anything of substance to contribute to this team. Get the damn stadium built, my guy. It's been 2 years. You've done nothing. I don't know what you do. Like, what are you doing? Like, I understand that this does not happen overnight. But again, we're talking about 2 years where your primary objective was to get shovels in the ground for a stadium, which are not there yet. And we are here 2 years into your tenure. What are you doing, Kevin? So, well, that's a little weird. But in other news, we've heard a lot this week because the owners' meetings are happening down in Florida. We've heard a lot from Ryan Poles and Ben Johnson. And they're talking about the team and the upcoming draft and this, that, and the other. And Ben Johnson talked about recently how he's looking at Braxton Jones and he likes what he sees, but he wants Braxton Jones to gain a little weight so he can plant better. He does feel like Braxton Jones could be limited in training camp, but he will be participating in some way, shape, or form. You also got Karan Amagaji back there, who had some time last season, but he wasn't really ready because he didn't have the offseason to properly train for the NFL season. So now Karan Amagaji will have a full NFL offseason to get his body right for the NFL. So they're still excited to see what he can do. So we got that going on. And then there's the NFL draft and whether or not the Bears are going to pick a tackle, which I imagine, I don't know if they're going to pick a tackle or not, but I do imagine the Bears are going to address the offensive line somewhere in the draft. Me personally, I hope they don't do it with the 10th pick because I don't know if you're going to get draft an offensive lineman at 10 that's going to come in and make an immediate impact. And if you guys know, if you've been following me, you know that I am all for the Bears picking an instant impact player at pick 10, not somebody that's going to come in and ride the bench. So I don't know if an offensive lineman is a good use of that pick. Now, it might just come down to the Bears looking at their board at 10 and picking the best player available. And maybe the best player available is an offensive lineman. Then, hey, it is what it is at that point. But for me, I want somebody that can come in and be an immediate starter on day one at pick 10. And I don't feel like an offensive lineman fits that bill. But if you disagree with me, let me know in the comments. But then you got Ryan Poles talking recently about how the blue chip talent of this draft is condensed towards the top half of the first round. And then anywhere from single digits to the 70s, you get quality, good starting level players. So if he feels that way, that the top talent is condensed towards the top half of the draft or whatever, it could lead the Bears to potentially trading down in the first round if the opportunity presents itself. Now, obviously, this is an idea that a lot of people have talked about, and they would love the Bears to trade down. But the problem is you got to have a trade partner that is willing to trade up with you so you could trade down. And if the top part of the first round doesn't have that many blue chip players, then there might not be a player that teams are willing to trade up for, which may lead the Bears having to pick at 10 anyway. So I don't know. This draft is a fluid situation. It's going to be very interesting to see what happens pick 1 through 9 and how that changes team strategies and perspectives as the draft goes along. But I don't know if it's realistic for the Bears to trade down right now if, you know, the draft falls a certain way and the players that other teams want aren't going to be available. And it's always interesting when you don't have the quarterback here that you had in years past. So this is not a very quarterback heavy first round of the draft. You got 2 for sure, maybe 3, but 2 for sure. And that means you got a lot of chaos that could potentially unfold as the first round moves along. Also, there's been some chatter about the Bears potentially trading up for a blue chip player if they feel like that's an option. I don't know if the Bears are going to do that. They have draft capital, but I don't know if they have enough to be sacrificing draft capital to trade up for a guy. Although you all have heard me say, if there is a world where Abdul Carter falls to 5 or 6, then I would highly consider the Bears trading up to get him because he's going to be an instant impact player on day 1. I don't think that's happening though. I think he's going top 2. And he is the only player that I would trade up for in this particular draft. I know y'all love Mason Graham, but I don't think that's the guy I would trade up for. Because again, I don't know if he's going to be able to come in and make an immediate impact. Although I know he will have some rotational value if that were the case. But I don't know if I would trade up for Mason Graham. But I would definitely trade up for Abdul Carter for sure. And Erica said, "Hi, Erica. How you doing? Good morning to you. Hopefully you're doing well." And she agreed with me. The only trade up will be for Abdul Carter. Yep. That's the only person I would trade up for. Anybody else, I would not consider trading up for at all. But that's just me. And obviously the conversation continues to rave on about whether or not the Bears should take Ashton Jeanty at 10, different things like that. I think most folks don't expect him to be around at 10. So this might be a dead conversation. I feel like if he's there at 10, he's the obvious pick, in my opinion. But if he's not there at 10, then you got a conversation to be had. There's a conversation to be had, right? Do you go offensive line? Do you go defensive line? Do you go Omarion Hampton at 10? I would hate that pick. I would not like that pick at all because I feel like if the Bears really want Omarion Hampton, you can probably trade back and still get him later on in the first round. That is not a pick. I will make it pick 10. I hope that's not the pick. Plus, I feel like there are better running backs in the draft than Omarion Hampton, even though I know everybody's high on him for whatever reason. I don't think he's better than Quinshon Judkins. I just don't think so. I think Judkins is the better player. I don't know how Omarion is all of a sudden the better the ball when Judkins is the better player, in my opinion. But what do I know? I'm just a person that watches from the outside. So I don't know. Erica says if Jeanty and Warren are both there at 10, I'm taking Warren all day. Yeah, I would take Jeanty, but that's just me. Warren is a great player. He's a Swiss Army knife. He's a do-it-all guy. But Jeanty, to me, will have a more of an immediate impact on the Bears offense than Warren will. But Warren, I mean, if Jeanty's not there and Warren is there, then, hey, do what you got to do. Do what you do. Hey, it's just crazy how fluid the draft is. And then Ben Johnson was talking about EPA, which I think is the expected points added, and how that's the most important factor to whether or not a team can win games. And a lot of that comes down to quarterback play. And I feel like that is true because the Detroit Lions had a game last year where Jared Goff threw 5 interceptions, but they still won the game. Just think about that, right? Jared Goff threw 5 interceptions in a football game, and his team still won. That is crazy to me. So I think Ben Johnson is onto something when he says that EPA and the quarterback play is more important than generating turnovers. And I think that was kind of a detriment to Matt Eberflus last year, was that he was so worried about turnovers and not turning the ball over that he might have hampered Caleb Williams and Justin Fields. He might have hampered both of them and their ability to like move the ball down the field because he was drilling into their heads that don't turn the ball over, don't turn the ball over. And because of that, he kind of limited what they could do on offense. I don't think that's going to be a problem with Ben Johnson. I think Ben Johnson will be like, yo, you air that shit out. Ben Johnson's like, air it out. Do not hold back. If you throw a pick, you learn and you move on. But I'm definitely excited to see how Ben Johnson coaches Caleb Williams to his full potential because I don't think he's going to hold Caleb back like Matt Eberflus probably did when he was the coach of the Chicago Bears. All right, Erica says, I love how Ben said that Bieniemy was going to coach the piss out of his players. That was awesome. Oh, he's absolutely right. I mean, I don't know if you've seen clips of Bieniemy coaching players, but it ain't nothing pretty, man. If they want accountability, they're going to get it and then some from Eric Bieniemy. Eric Bieniemy is a madman. He is a madman back there. And I just find it interesting because last year we had Hard Knocks, and we watched how Chad Morton worked with the running back. Eric Bieniemy is Chad Morton on steroids, bro. Okay. Eric Bieniemy and Chad Morton on steroids. So it's going to be real interesting to see those running backs get coached by Eric Bieniemy during the off-season program, OTA, training camp, all that stuff. So it's going to be very intense out there with Bieniemy. And Ben Johnson can get a little intense himself. So it's going to be some hard coaching going on when these players report next week. And that's the other cool thing. Since Ben Johnson is a brand new head coach in the league this year, the Bears get to report to off-season workouts earlier than normal since he's a new head coach. So that means next week, the Bears are reporting to Highland Hall for their off-season workout program. I think it's only like 2 weeks or whatever. But still, Ben Johnson, 2 days. I think it's like, I don't know if it's 2 weeks or 2 days. It might be 3 or 4 days. Where I think it might be days. So yeah. In a few days, next week, Ben Johnson is going to be in Highland Hall, and the Bears are going to report. But I think it's only for like a 2 or 3 day period or whatever, something like that. But yeah, the Bears are definitely coming into Highland Hall next week to do their off-season training workout beginning. And it'll be interesting to see how that goes. I don't think the media is going to get much access to that workout, that portion, but we'll see. I don't know. Let's see. Plank that he's loving it too, how Bieniemy is going to coach the players. Oh, yeah, Bieniemy is a beast, man. He's a beast. Erica said, would you trade down a few spots and draft Mike Green? Hell yes. We've talked before, I think we talked a lot on here about Mike Green, right? And y'all know how I feel about Mike Green. Hold on, give me a second here. My headphones unplugged. But in my opinion, Mike Green is going to be an absolute game record at the NFL level. And I know there's a lot of controversy surrounding him about the domestic abuse allegations. I think it's important to note that these are allegations. He has not been convicted of anything. So obviously the Bears are going to have to do their research and look into that heavily. But if Mike Green ended up a Chicago Bear, I would jump for joy. I know the Chicago Bears want high character players and different things like that. But what the Bears need more than anything on their football team are dogs. Dudes that are going to get after it regardless. And sometimes dogs aren't the best people. They're not the greatest character guy, but on a football field, they will not be denied. And I feel like Mike Green will not be denied on a football field. So if somehow he became a Chicago Bear, I will be all for it. I just don't know if the McCaskies or the rest of the upper management will be comfortable making that draft pick, especially in the first round. But if he's there in the second round or if they trade back in the first round, I would love the Bears to get Mike Green because I think he would make an immediate impact on that team. But I know they're going to be probably scared about the character stuff, so we'll see. We'll see. We got my man Bears Junkie. What's up, man? How you doing, dude? Good to see you. Hopefully you're doing well. Yeah, the sexual sexual assault allegations. Well, yeah, sexual assault allegations. Yeah, what did I say? Domestic abuse. Yeah, okay. Sexual assault allegations, right? But again, there are allegations. He had not been convicted. I think again, it's very important to note that he has not been convicted. It's one thing if he was convicted of it, that means he absolutely did it. But allegations are just hearsay. It's he said, she said. And he has denied all allegations. Now, obviously, he's going to deny them anyway. But again, until you convict him, he should still be able to live his life and play football, in my opinion, and do the things that he's going to do. But obviously, teams are going to have question marks about that, and they're going to dig into that and do their research. He's going to get drafted. Somebody's going to draft him, and whoever drafts him is going to get an amazing football player. So why not the Chicago Bears? Why not the Bears? So that's how I feel about that. Again, the possibility of trading down, right? You got to have a trade partner to trade down. Also, the other thing I'm looking at, now this doesn't really relate to the Chicago Bears, but the other thing I'm looking at closely is this situation with Micah Parsons in Dallas. Micah Parsons is looking for a new contract. Jerry Jones is trying to negotiate that contract, it seems like, directly with Micah Parsons. And Micah Parsons is like, absolutely not. You got to go through my agent, bruh. So I wonder if Jerry Jones is going to re-sign Micah Parsons, or if they're going to be, a parting of the ways there in some way, shape, or form. Now, obviously, the Cowboys will have to trade him because he's still under contract with them. But are they going to be able to get something done if Jerry Jones is not willing to negotiate with Micah Parsons' agent? Which that sounds crazy to me to even say, but if Micah Parsons is not going to do anything without his agent, is that going to change anything? Are they going to be forced to trade him? Because again, the other thing, if Micah Parsons is going to demand top tier money, Myles Garrett just got paid $40 million a year, and he is 29 years old. Obviously, he's the best defensive lineman in the league, but Micah Parsons is right there. Micah Parsons is like 4 years younger and just as good as, or just a tier below Myles Garrett. Micah Parsons is probably going to reset the defensive edge rusher market whenever he gets paid, which means he's probably going to earn more money than Myles Garrett because of his age and how good he is. So, is Jerry Jones going to be willing to pay that money to Micah Parsons? Because I promise you, his agent is going to demand that money. His agent is not a guy that signs cheap contracts. His agent is a guy that signs max contracts, fam. So, Jerry Jones is not going to be able to get out of paying Micah Parsons the max amount of money that Micah Parsons can make, if he wants to make that back money, which I think he does. So, gonna be interesting to talk about that, or at least observe it from the outside looking in here in Chicago. Ultimately, I know a lot of Bear fans will be hella interested in Michael Parsons coming to Chicago. I don't know how realistic that is because, again, not only do you have to trade for him, you have to pay him, and that could get messy and all that. So I don't know. Eric said because of allegations makes no sense. I mean, the problem is, it happened twice. That's the big thing with Mike Green, right? If it happened once, you could maybe brush it off. It happened twice. So he has 2 incidences where he has alleged sexual assault against him. So that really makes it difficult to ignore that when it happened twice. So it's not a good look for him. But again, until he gets convicted, I don't care. Like, I just feel like he is a good football player. It's like, bro. She said, read my comment above that one. You said he's a monster and will tear out the opposing team because of allegations. Makes no sense. Yeah. I mean, yeah, he's good. But again, the allegations are going to be what hold people back from drafting him. But he's going to get drafted. He's going to get drafted. Bears Junkie says, it's going to take a lot of money and a lot of draft capital. He's talking about Michael Parsons. I think if we're going to spend it, we should move up and get up to Abdul Carter instead of Parsons. I would agree with that. My only issue is that I don't know if we have the draft capital to move up to number 2. Because I don't see Michael Parsons fall. I don't see Abdul Carter falling past pick 2. I think the Browns are probably going to trade him. Draft him. Excuse me. I think he's going to get drafted in the top 3. So I don't know if the Bears have the draft capital to trade up into the top 3 to draft Abdul Carter. I don't see that happening, and they don't really need to, because the other class besides running back that is deep in this draft happens to be defensive linemen. So even if you don't get Abdul Carter, you can still get a good starting level defensive lineman later on in the draft. So you don't necessarily have to trade up for Abdul Carter if that's not something that you're willing to do. So if he falls to 5 or 6, then I'm like, yeah, go get him. Maybe even 4, but 4 still might be too high. But if he falls to 5 or 6, then yeah, I think the Bears should absolutely entertain a trade up if he falls to 5 or 6. But if he goes in the top 4 or whatever, then you can't do that. You just can't do it. Bear Chunky also says, Virginia Tech thought it was serious enough to, you mean Virginia, not Virginia Tech, but Virginia thought it was serious enough to kick him off the team and allegedly didn't handle questions well at the combine, just being a devil's advocate. Actually, I think he handled questions very well at the combine. He didn't run away from it. He addressed it at the combine. I think a lot of people were pretty impressed with how he handled it at the combine. So that I don't know where you heard that, but I think most teams were pretty impressed with the way he handled it at the combine. Obviously, they're going to have to do their research into him and see if there's going to be some future repercussions with that. I don't know. But yeah, apparently at the combine, he was great. He stood up there, he took his medicine, and, it is what it is. Erica says, fans rip Poe for passing on Carter because of character issues, and fans wanted him, just don't want Green because of allegations. But don't want Green because of allegations. Right? And, people keep arguing with me about this, but I will die on this hill. I know there are sexual assault allegations, but again, they are allegations. What Jalen Carter was involved in is not an allegation. It is a fact. People lost their life because he was street racing. Now, I realize and I accept that he was not directly involved in that accident. He was more indirectly involved. He was not directly involved in those lives being lost. But he was still involved. He lied to the police about it and ultimately got caught up in that. And his actions indirectly resulted in people getting killed. I'm sorry. To me, that is a lot more serious than allegations, okay? Again, if Mike Green gets convicted, then we can revisit the conversation. But there is no question that Jalen Carter's actions directly or indirectly resulted in the lives of people being lost. So that is much more egregious to me than allegations, because allegations are he said, she said, until somebody gets convicted. Sorry. It's chatter, okay? Jalen Carter was busted and got caught up in lying, and people died because of his actions indirectly, I keep saying directly. Indirectly died because of his actions, okay? So they're not the same to me. That's not the same. Bear Junkie saying, I'm not saying I don't want Carter on the team. I do understand why Ryan Poe didn't draft him. Yeah, I understood it too. I even agreed with it at the time. I'm like, no, you can't draft him with all those red flags. And plus, that doesn't even take into account his pro day and how terrible he looked at his pro day. Like, did you remember his pro day? He looked out of shape and terrible and just not ready. Now, obviously, he was going through a lot at that time. But still, like, you had time enough to train for your pro day, and he was not ready. So it's just, I was definitely on board with him not being drafted by the Bears. This Mike Green stuff is different to me, man. It's just different. Eric says if Green gets drafted by a team in the NFC North, he will terrorize us. Oh yeah, the Bears will regret that. But you know what the worst thing that would happen? If he somehow gets drafted by the Packers. Oh man, oh man, that would be terrible if he gets drafted by the Packers. That would absolutely suck. That would be terrible. But it'll be the Bears' fault for not drafting him, man. It'll be the Bears' fault. You got to go draft that man. All right. The other chatter that's been going on over the past few days is the Bears potentially bringing in a veteran backup quarterback for Caleb Williams. And I think this is something that probably should have happened last year, and it definitely should happen this year, because I know they want to limit the amount of people in his ear, but it would probably be better better for him if he had a veteran backup quarterback in the quarterback room so he can bounce ideas off up and talk to somebody that understands what's going on out there. I love Tyson Bagent, but Tyson Bagent does not have enough experience to help Caleb navigate life in the NFL as a quarterback. He just doesn't. I'm sorry. Tyson Bagent is about to be in his third year, and Caleb's going to be in his second. They need a established veteran backup. Now, I don't know if it's possible, but if you can go out there and get a Teddy Bridgewater, I think that would be good for Caleb. You know, I'm not saying go get a superstar backup, but you definitely should have a credible backup in that room that Caleb can lean on. And I think Teddy Bridgewater, if he were to be available, would be that type of guy. Him or Joe Flacco or maybe a Ryan Tannehill or whatever. Tannehill will probably cost too much, but Joe Flacco's out there. Teddy Bridgewater's out there. There's a few other quarterbacks that are out there that the Bears could bring in as a serviceable, just a backup to just be a mentor and have Caleb be able to talk to and whatnot. But yeah, I like that idea. I think that's something that they should definitely go investigate and check out, and hopefully something will come up. I don't know. Bears Junkie said, I thought Ryan did the right thing for Carter and traded him next to nothing to a team that had a good culture that could get the best out of him. Yeah. The Eagles were prepared because they had a good locker room. They had a good culture. They had strong leaders in that locker room. The Bears did not have that, clearly. The Eagles did. And that's the other thing that I keep trying to tell people, right? You need to look at situations, too, when it comes to drafting somebody. Clearly, the Bears did not have a situation that would have allowed Jalen Carter to thrive in. Not to mention he's playing against Pro Bowler, or he's playing with Pro Bowlers on that Philadelphia Eagle defensive line. He would not have looked as good as he did with the Eagles on the Bears. It would not have happened. So he went to the right place for him. Now, here we are with the 2025 draft, and we're about to pick 10, and we got options here. We have leaders in place here, which is another reason why I feel like I'm more comfortable with a Mike Green pick, because we have leaders. We have Grady Jarrett on defense. We got Montez Sweat on defense. We got Jalen Johnson. We got leaders on defense, that can, keep him in the right headspace and hold him accountable and shit, and make sure he's on the up and up. And then on offense, obviously, we got Joe Thuney and Drew Dalman and other people for the offensive side. But there are more leaders in the Bears locker room this year than there were in years past. And then I feel like this year is going to be a better locker room culture to bring in somebody like a Mike Green or even a James Pierce Jr. out of Tennessee if they got character concerns, although nobody has actually even substantiated the character concerns that they have with James Pierce Jr. I just keep hearing, hey, you have bad character. What did he do? What does that mean exactly? Apparently, they say his football character is in question. Like, what happened to put his football character in question? Like, it's a bunch of talk. And we are in full-on Lions season, right? I love how, at the same time, every year, like clockwork, rumors and conjecture come out about players, and it's usually of a negative nature because teams want to spread rumors to try to bring these players' value down so they could draft them. This happened real big time last year with Malik Neighbors, right? All these things came out about Malik Neighbors, about how he had incidences and different things like that. And people tried to drag his value down, even though it didn't work. And he ended up going thick to the Giants or whatever. But this stuff happens every year. All these quote unquote concerns come up out of nowhere. And teams are trying to tank these players' value so they can fall to them in the draft. It's nasty work. It really is. But it happens every year like clockwork. Kind of crazy. Okay, let's see. What else is going on here? You guys got any other questions or comments for me? Feel free to drop them in the chat. I do appreciate y'all hanging out today. We will be back. I'll be here tomorrow with another mock draft, of course. It'd be mock draft 8. Yo, I can't believe we're on the 8th mock draft already on the channel, but mock draft 8 coming at you tomorrow here on Bears Yard. So definitely stay tuned for that. Should be interesting to see what happens in that particular mock draft. But yeah, if you guys got any other questions, feel free to drop them in the chat. Also, if you are enjoying the content and you want to consider supporting your boy, please consider donating to the channel here. I will lay out a link for you guys right there, so you can have the link and go and donate. Again, you don't have to donate; you're not required, but anything that you could donate would be greatly, greatly appreciated. Your dude has been unemployed for almost a year now, so whatever you guys can donate will definitely help me along. It will be a donation via PayPal. So the link right there in the chat will be greatly appreciated if you can click it and donate. Doesn't matter how much you donate, no matter how big, how small, whatever you can donate would be greatly appreciated. But again, y'all don't have to, but it's better for you to do it that way than super chatting me, because again, I get that money directly and YouTube doesn't take a cut. I don't know if you all are aware, but when you super chat via YouTube, YouTube takes a 30% cut of your donation. So the creator does not get all of it. So that kind of sucks. Not to mention the creator doesn't even see any money until they reach a certain threshold. They got to make a certain amount of money before YouTube will even pay you out. So that could take a month, 2 months, whatever the case may be. So that's why I always ask for donation via PayPal, because I don't have to deal with any of that red tape and I keep more of the money. So if you can donate, please do so. If you can't, that's cool too. But appreciate y'all being here and rocking out with your boy here on another Thursday live stream here on the Yard. All right, let me go here and check and see if there's anything else going on. All right. So wait. Oh, okay. This is weird. So Adam Hogan posted the Bears offseason program to the internet here. Actually, I forget. I can show y'all this. Hold on. So let me show y'all what's going on here. How the offseason program is going to look. So if I can make this a little bit bigger for you, let me see if I can do that. Wham. All right. So the first day of the offseason program is April 7th. So that is what? Next Monday. Next Monday, players are going to report into Highland Hall, right? And then the voluntary minicamp goes from April 21st to 23rd, so right before the draft. And then the offseason workouts are at the end of May, beginning of June, and then mandatory minicamp is at the beginning of June. So Bears check-in for the offseason program on Monday, because again, Ben Johnson is a new coach in the NFL. The Bears get a chance to come in a little bit earlier since he's a brand new coach. That starts on Monday. And then the voluntary minicamp starts on the 21st of April, right before the draft. And then obviously you got your offseason workouts and different things like that in May and whatnot. So yeah, fun time ahead for the Chicago Bears and different things like that. Yeah, I talked about Kevin Warren right off the jump, but just I'll give you the cliff notes real quick. I'm trying to figure out what the hell Kevin Warren's job is, because he's been in the job for 2 years now, and the Bears still don't have a definite location that this stadium is going to be built on. So my question, Bear Junkie, is what the hell has Kevin Warren been doing for the past 2 years? Like, what is your job? The only thing that you've done is hired a bunch of executives and VPs to build out the business side, but we still don't have ground broke on a new stadium, and he's been here for 2 years. Like, what the hell has Kevin Warren been doing for 2 years? Like, not only did you have, when he came in 2 years ago, they had the land in Arlington brought. You had a potential site for a new stadium. But he was so hell-bent on trying to get something in downtown Chicago, and he's been messing around with the Chicago politicians and whatnot, and he's been doing nothing, and now you got to pivot back to Arlington anyway. Like, you've been wasting 2 years of time, bro. You've been wasting 2 years of life not getting nothing done, and now you're going to have to go back to the original plan anyway. So again, my whole point about Kevin Warren, what have you done? What is your point? What is your purpose here in the Bears organization? What have you done in the 2 years you've been in office? You've done nothing. He's done nothing, fam. So that was my whole Kevin Warren conversation. Like, what is he doing? He's done nothing. Andre, what's up, bro? Andre says Kevin has been disappointing as of now. Didn't do anything. Exactly. 2 years and nothing has happened. Haven't even broke ground yet. Don't even have a firm location in place yet. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing? Valiant, what's up, bro? How you doing, sir? Good to see you. Hopefully you're doing well. Appreciate you dropping in. Erica says he changed the way they do business. Okay, I'll give him that. But that was not why he was brought in. He was primarily brought in to get the stadium off the ground. And he has not done that at all. We're still trying to figure out where the stadium is going to be 2 years later. I will give you that he has changed the way they done business, and I'll give him that credit. But that was not his primary job function when he got hired. His primary job function was to get a stadium built, and we're still waiting. So what are you doing, Kevin? What are you doing? That's right. 2 years wasted, and now it's more expensive. Yep, 2 years wasted, and now we're still trying to figure out where the stadium is going to be at. And I'm just like, what are you doing, bro? What are you doing, Kevin? What are you doing? Oh, not to mention raising the ticket prices. Raising season ticket prices for tickets next year. What? You've done nothing, and now you're raising season ticket prices after going 5-12 the year before? Oof. Rough, bro. Rough. Baron Junkie said, I don't like the guy personally, but I hate all politicians, and Kevin Warren screams politician, and I don't believe any public money should go towards the stadium, like none. Yeah, unfortunately, that's not how stadiums get built usually. So I don't think you're gonna be able to get a stadium built without some public funding. But I do understand what you're saying though. Because again, you're talking about $1 billion corporation. They should be able to build their stadium without public funding. They should, in theory, yes. But unfortunately, that's just not reality. But I feel like we should be further along than we are with this whole stadium being built thing. But that's just me. Carl, what's up, Carl? Carl says Warren has been in talk with possible entities and working out the best deal for the Bears. You don't rush into a bad deal. You do the work for a good deal. 2 years, my guy. 2 years, and we're still trying to figure this out. I'm sorry. It should not take 2 years to figure that out. If your primary job is to get the stadium built, and we are 2 years into it, and we still don't have a site, that's a problem to me. That is a problem. Every time he talked to Baron Junkie's point, he sounds like a politician. He's only trying to sell something. Like, bro, we don't care. Build the damn stadium, Kevin. Build the damn stadium, okay? What are we talking about here? All right. Any other thoughts, questions, comments before we drop the land the plane here? Feel free to let me know. Again, I appreciate y'all being here and chatting. So thank you for that. Bear Junkie says, no offense. I don't care how it's usually done. Chicago and the surrounding area have more pressing needs, and they're worth over $6 billion they can take out a loan. Yeah, they're not doing that. I get what you're saying, but you don't have to care. But that's not how business is done. They're not taking out a loan for a stadium, bro. They're not doing that. They're gonna raise funding somehow. Also, what they also are gonna do, to your point, Bear Junkie, I think they are investigating the possibility of selling a portion of the team to somebody to get the funding that way too. So, that is another avenue that I know they're looking into. So, yeah, you might get a portion of the team being sold to fund it as well. He also says, let me wait till the comment come up. The longer it takes, the more expensive it's going to be. And if they're taking tax dollars, that's more we have to pay on the higher ticket prices. Yeah, it does suck. Which again goes back to my original point. What are you doing, Kevin? Hurry up, get the shovel into the damn ground, bro. What are we doing? Let's go, Kevin. Let's go. Like, stop digging around, my guy. Stop digging around. Andre says, watching you from Canada. I keep on going, brother. Great podcast. Go Bears. Hey, from Canada. Wow, that's what's up, bro. I appreciate you watching from Canada. Thank you so much, Andre, for tuning in, man. Again, I'm here because y'all show up every time I go live or make a video. Y'all show up, and I appreciate y'all showing up, man. So thank you guys for being here and hanging on and rocking out with your boy. But I think we're going to land a plane here. I appreciate the conversation. Like I said, if you guys could please consider donating, helping support your boy. The link is at the end of the chat there. Again, you don't have to donate, but if you could donate, no matter how big, how small your donation is, every little bit will help. So please consider doing that. But thank you guys for being here and hanging out. And again, tomorrow, I'm going to hit you with Bears Yard Mock Draft 8.0, and we will see what that brings. But until then, be kind, be safe out there, and bear down.